What's up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of The Sharp Reality. Visit thesharpreality.com anytime to check out previous episodes, which can also be found on YouTube, iTunes, as well as SoundCloud. If you have questions, comments, show ideas, personal stories you'd like to share, or anything else you'd like to discuss, hit me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp, or you can go to the contact tab on my website, thesharpreality.com, and contact me there. You can also support the show at zero cost to you by bookmarking the Amazon link on the right-hand side of our homepage and simply shopping on Amazon through our link. And of course, you can always drop a little something in the tip jar toward the bottom. Pornography can certainly be a polarizing topic among men and women alike. Some schools of thought tell you that it's not good for you, or that you should watch it rarely, if at all, while others have pointed out that it might not be as detrimental to your game as one might think. It really depends on the person and the situation. Now, personally, I used to use porn mainly to edge, and edging is you jerk off and don't allow yourself to orgasm. That's sort of a side tip. Like if you wanna last longer in bed, you do what's called edging. You can look it up on Google, but that was the only reason I used porn. So I would probably fall into the second camp. However, since discovering the red pill, I've noticed some pretty telling parallels between pornography and real life. And now a lot of people believe that what happens in porn is not real or a fantasy, but I strongly disagree. When you look at porn through the red pill, through a red pill lens, the similarities are very, very obvious, and I'm going to give you 5 of those similarities. So let's go ahead and get things started here. Number 1. All women want to be sexually dominated. Now, there are plenty of scenes in porn where the actor and actresses are making sweet love, with all sorts of, kissing and affectionate touching, this and that and the other. Whether or not the actress is actually enjoying it is anybody's guess, because she's paid to sell the scene. But when she's getting her hair pulled, when she's getting her ass smacked, in some cases when she's getting choked, she ain't faking those moans, guys. Physical domination at the hands of a male is what women want, and it shows. Girls in the real world are exactly the same way. They all want to be ravaged in the worst way, and there are no exceptions. I speak from personal experience. And to be quite honest with you, if I hadn't jerked off to porn so much during my sexless teens and 20s, I may have never figured out that girls really do get off on being thrown around and manhandled in bed. Number 2. The same few male actors are fucking all the top girls, alright? Now, these days there are probably between 30, maybe 35 female porn stars who are, quote, household names. They're the most searched, the most viewed, the most in demand, or whatever metric gauges their popularity. But have you ever noticed guys who, and listen, don't sit here and tell me, oh, I don't watch porn. Listen, everybody watches porn. It's a $9 billion industry. Everybody watches porn. But have you guys ever noticed that all of the top girls are getting banged by the same 5 or 6 dudes? Like, have you noticed that? Like, you can check out all the clips of your favorite female actresses, and if you're paying attention, you'll notice that the same few male actors are in just about every scene with all the top girls. In the world of pornography, a man's dick size, his stamina, his aesthetic fitness level, that's equivalent to a man's game level in the real world. Men that look the best, have the biggest dicks, and last the longest in porn flicks are in the most demand by the actors. Well, the vast majority of men in this part of the world they don't have what it takes to fuck the hottest females on a regular basis. Well, fortunately, most of what's required to snag hot women is under our control. So I'll go back to the basics here, guys. Lift weights, stack cash, and learn game, and you'll have the same ratio advantages that male porn stars do. Number 3, fat girls are not attractive. I just talked about the top porn actresses, and none of them are fat. Sure, there may be one or two sprinkled in that carry a little more weight, but they're a far cry from these ham beasts or these land whales that Western culture tries to shove down our throats as gorgeous women, who are totally fuckable. The bottom line here, guys, is that attraction cannot be negotiated or mitigated, and pornography mirrors this ironclad biological doctrine. No matter what they tell us, gentlemen, men with options are not gonna fuck fat girls. Just like high value females, just like hot females, they're not dropping their panties for fat dudes with neckbeards who live with their mothers. The pendulum swings both ways. Now, women who are listening to this, they'd be quick to disingenuously point out the presence of porn that features fat or obese women, all right? But listen, you're being intellectual dishonest, and you know it. I don't have to be an expert in website analytics to know that the overwhelming majority of traffic is headed to the actresses who are hot and pass just about every boner test with flying colors. Number 4, sex is more emotional for women. It's probably an understatement that female porn actresses have exorbitant notch counts, and that's not counting what happens off the screen. Add to that the fact that they have much more sex as a matter of occupational obligation, and that most of that sex is with the top 1% of penises in terms of size. It's safe to say that sex probably isn't as exciting to a porn actress as it used to be, like when they first started out in the business. Be that as it may, gentlemen, they are still women. And no matter how much sex a woman has had in their lives, it is always an emotional experience. Now, obviously, the emotional level varies from female to female, but every girl, every female, from virgins to sluts, are emotionally invested in sexual intercourse, whether they like it, know it, or not. Proof of this in porn is constantly on display. The actress is almost always initiating kissing, affectionate touching, or other actions that establish some sort of connection with the actor. They also make and keep eye contact during scenes, which, of course, is a telltale sign that they're feeling something other than lust during the scene, however short that may be. Any man with red pill game has experienced one or more of the chicks on his roster making a play to become exclusive with him. In most friends with benefit situation, it is the female who desires exclusivity first because sex is emotional for her. She can say that it isn't. She can say, "Oh, sex is not emotional, it's just another dick." No, it always is. And her biology always wins out in the end, because females can only pair bond with one male at a time, regardless of how many men she's sleeping with at the time. She can be fucking 5 different guys. There's one guy that she's fucking that she has pair bonded with. Like, we know this. Number 5, and this might be good news for the ladies. The wall can be delayed. The vast majority of women these days, they stop trying after they've locked down a provider. They gain weight, they stop trying to look feminine, and a lot of them, stop acting feminine and just let themselves go altogether. Until, of course, they divorce, rape their husbands, and they're back on the dating scene. Now, at that point, they've got the motivation to get into shape, get to the gym, act like a lady, but all of the years of eating bad, smoking and drinking, riding the cock carousel, that's pushed them past the point of no return. And at the end of the day, no amount of diet and exercise is going to reverse the effects of the wall, except for maybe human growth hormone, and you guys can Google that as well. Female porn stars, particularly the ones who fall into the MILF category, they are living proof that the wall can be delayed for quite a while. Now, not all actresses in this category, they don't show signs of aging. A good number of them still have tight, sexy bodies. A good friend of mine, who lives in Southern California, works as a lab assistant in the porn industry. The lab assistant, that's the guy who tests all the actors and actresses for STIs, STDs, venereal diseases, etc. He used to tell us about the extreme lengths that older actresses go to in order to stay attractive by industry standards. One thing he said a while back stuck out to me, and that was that aging actresses who take shortcuts to stay attractive, such as plastic surgery and Botox, don't last nearly as long as actresses who didn't cut corners. In other words, female porn stars who watch their diets, they live in the gym, they avoid smoking and drinking, they tend to last a lot longer in the business than those who do not. According to him, again, the actresses who last the longest, they go some of them go even a few steps further by juicing, like they buy a juicer. Some of them have personal chefs who prepare all of their meals according to their specific dietary needs. And like I said before, human growth hormone therapy. What older female adult film stars shows us is that if women outside of this line of work can put their minds to it, again, they can delay the effects of the wall for quite a while. The motivating factor for both groups is the same: male desire. So with hard work, discipline, consistency, any woman, whether she's a porn star or not, she can stay sexually attractive into her 40s. That is absolutely a possibility. As far as I'm concerned, guys, any man who denies the similarities between pornography and the current sexual marketplace is either not paying attention or is stuck in his own ignorant blue pill bliss. Understand this, gentlemen. Female sexuality is always for sale, whether it be marriage, relationships, prostitution, pornography, etc. Every woman's vagina has a price, and porn movies are the personification of this axiom on both a physical and psychological level. So the next time you're jerking off to porn, try to pay a little bit more attention to what's really going on the screen. Even if your red pill development is in its infancy stages, the red pill truths will stick out to you. That concludes this episode of The Sharp Reality. Visit thesharpreality.com anytime to check out previous episodes, which can also be found on YouTube, iTunes, as well as SoundCloud. If you have questions, comments, show ideas, personal stories you'd like to share, or anything else you want to discuss, hit me on Twitter @Donovan_Sharp, or you can go to the contact tab on my website and contact me there. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.